CTV News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Lauren Stallone. Following a few mild days, winter has made its return across our region, closing roads and leaving some residents in the dark. Scott Miller has the first part of our weather coverage.
Winds nearing 70 to 80 kilometers an hour, coupled with an Arctic cold front and low pressure system, brought sustained blowing snow and snow squalls to much of Midwestern Ontario today.
Just asking the motorists traveling today, take some extra time, leave earlier to get to your destination, and just drive slower in these snowy conditions.
Some roads in Bruce and Perth County started to close due to the treacherous driving conditions over the noon hour, with more road closures expected throughout the day and night as snow and wind continue to pelt the region.
It just doesn't end. It's horrible.
And if conditions weren't rough enough on the main roads, you got on maybe a gravel road or a side road, some of them are simply ice rinks because of the flash freeze that happened overnight.
If you don't need to leave home, we know that you'll be safe in your living room, so please stay there. But if you do have to travel, just prepare and plan ahead. Have the kit that we always talk about, a charged cell phone, a full tank of gas, warm clothing, blankets, things like that, just in case you get caught out there in the cold weather and you've got to sit somewhere for hours waiting for a tow.
While the winds are expected to subside somewhat by Tuesday morning, Midwestern Ontario will likely be hit with a second and third round of snow squalls coming off of Lake Huron on Tuesday and Wednesday, with another 25 to 50 centimeters of snow by midweek.
This is quite a winter, though. Yeah, and the accumulation so quickly is just, yeah.
Hydro outages and more road closures are likely as conditions deteriorate throughout the day, say weather officials. Most municipalities in Midwestern Ontario have declared significant weather events as they struggle to keep up with the worsening weather conditions.
Again, just asking everybody to drive safely today if you have to get out in these snowy conditions.
In Wingham, Scott Miller, CTV News.
There were treacherous road conditions in the London area as well. Provincial police had to shut down the westbound 402 for a couple of hours at Colonel Talbot Road due to a jackknife transport truck. A 52-year-old from St. Thomas was charged with careless driving. In the City of London, the roads weren't great for driving either. There were reports of slick conditions, especially in the Wonderland Road and Springbank area.
Multiple collisions in a short amount of time. And because of that, we close the highway. That way it keeps everybody safe. And at the same time, we had the Highway 402 closed for a single transport that had jackknifed. If you're going to be out and you do have to get out there, drive smart, right? Drive within your abilities and obviously slow the speed down.
As wind warnings blanket much of southwestern Ontario with damage from gusts exceeding 80 to 100 kilometers per hour. It's the product of an intense storm that also has brought 1 to 2 centimeters of snow and whiteout conditions. Take a look at some of the damage in Windsor. Power lines down at Tecumseh Road East and Southfield Drive. And here on Homedale Drive, a tree removed after it toppled onto a car. Local conservation authorities are urging caution as rivers and streams rise. This comes after heavy rain and strong winds moved into southwestern Ontario Sunday night, prompting flood and wind warnings. The Upper Thames River Conservation Authority says local rivers, streams and ditches began to rise Sunday in response to the heavy rain. Because the ground is frozen or saturated, the authority says it can't absorb much water. Runoff likely occurred quickly from the rain and any snow melt, causing water levels in ditches, creeks and rivers to rise rapidly. Everyone is reminded to avoid waterways and flooded areas.
Waterways are always hazardous. And at this time of year, when we have any flooding, it's especially dangerous. Stay off of any frozen areas. That's not going to be safe. Stay out of any areas that are flooded. If you see flooded roads, don't drive through them. Okay, don't let anyone drive through them. We may see that in some of the municipalities, there may be some streets, some minor flooding on streets just because the storm drains might be plugged. It might be covered with ice or snow. All these things that happen when we have sudden warm rain on top of ice and snow and all that kind of stuff. So stay away from waterways, keep the kids away, keep pets away as well. Don't go into any flooded areas, don't drive through them. Just, be smart.
A fire in South London damaged 2 townhouses and left more than a half a dozen people homeless. CTV's Sean Irvin reports.
Bryce Leach stares at his charred family home inside a townhouse complex at 575 Wilkins Street. Shortly after 10:30 p.m. Sunday, he was playing video games with his son in the basement when the pair heard a noise that sounded like wood being pulled apart.
When I walked up the stairs, my front window was just completely orange. And then I went to the front door and I opened it and my whole front porch was just swirling with fire.
In shock, Leach managed to get his son out the back door before helping his wife and 3 other children escape. Moments later, a window exploded. Once all were safely outside, he looked up at the wall of flames.
And then I realized that this is a big fire.
Arriving fire crews quickly realized the same as smoke billowed into the night sky.
When we arrived, the smoke conditions were so heavy, we couldn't immediately determine what was burning.
Pushing their way towards the blaze, firefighters verified that everyone in both units had escaped, although a pet cat perished. Soon afterwards, there was an alarming moment.
We had 2 partial collapses on the upper floors, roof cave-in and ceiling cave-in in bedrooms. We had to evacuate crews for that.
Now, at the peak of the blaze, 10 fire vehicles were on site and as many as 45 firefighters. Glancing at the aftermath, Leach expressed gratitude for their efforts, adding he never thought the day would come when he would need to call upon the lessons he learned about fire safety in school.
They drill this stuff into us when we're kids in school about like fire safety and everything, and you're like, I'll never need any of that. Sometimes you do.
Damage is in excess of $500,000, but fire officials acknowledge that both units may need to be rebuilt. Whatever the outcome, Leach has already put the loss of his home and his belongings into perspective.
It was the worst, best night one could have really asked for.
Sean Irvin, CTV News.
Meanwhile, OPP have confirmed 1 person is dead after a house fire in Lakeshore on Christmas Eve. The fire broke out shortly after midnight on December 24th on South Talbot Road. Essex County OPP were called to assist at the scene. The office of the fire marshal and the coroner later attended the scene to complete their investigation. No other details have been released. A 12-year-old boy has been charged after he allegedly set fire to a home in London's East End. London Police, Fire and EMS responded to an active fire in a residence on Clark Road late last night. Police say the occupants made it out safely and the fire was extinguished. A 12-year-old has been charged with 1 count of arson with disregard for human life. A 16-year-old boy has been arrested and charged following a downtown London shooting last month. A bullet hole was found in a Richmond Street building November 10th. No injuries were reported. Police say the teen suspect was arrested in Chatham Saturday. A 22-year-old London man is also charged in connection with the incident. Both remain in custody. The province's police watchdog is investigating after a woman was hurt during an incident late last week. On Boxing Day, the woman was in crisis at a home in the Commissioners and Wellington area. She received serious but non-life-threatening injuries and was taken to hospital. The Windsor Police Major Crimes Unit continues to investigate after a woman was found trapped beneath the tire of a vehicle at a city park. Police were called to a parking lot at Remington Booster Park shortly after 4 Sunday morning. Emergency crews found a woman pinned beneath the tire of a vehicle and worked to free her. Police say she was taken to hospital in critical condition with life-threatening injuries. They say the driver showed signs of impairment and was arrested. The 28-year-old now faces impaired driving charges causing bodily harm. One of the region's most dangerous intersections has received some long-awaited safety upgrades. The intersection of Ron McNeil Line and Dalewood Road now has stoplights after more than 35 crashes at the rural Elgin County intersection in recent years. Elgin County's Committee of the Whole approved a $1.3 million project as part of its capital budget. The installation of the lights was finished this week. It's been a difficult year for the auto industry, but a new survey suggests many people are still considering buying new cars. CTV's Travis Fortnum has more.
Canadians appear to still be shopping for a new set of wheels, but according to a new national survey, that search isn't immune to the pressures of trade uncertainty. KPMG, a firm that advises the auto industry, suggests buyers are worried they could soon be priced out of the market. While 6 in 10 Canadians say they plan to buy a new vehicle in the next 5 years, most say there's a hard ceiling on what they'll spend. More than 60% say they won't spend more than $50,000. Nearly a quarter say their budget tops out under $30,000. And price is the top deciding factor, ranked number 1 by 80% of respondents. 3/4 say they're worried tariffs could make new vehicles unaffordable. Nearly 1 in 4 say they've already been priced out of the new vehicle market, and another 10 to 15% price increase could push more than a third of buyers out entirely. And trade tensions have more Canadians saying it matters where a vehicle is built. 72% say it's important their vehicle is assembled or built in Canada, with 23% saying it's very important and 49% saying it's somewhat important. And that shift appears to be changing how some automakers are perceived. Quote, trust in the Detroit 3 is starting to erode as Canadians see a lack of commitment to keep jobs in Canada, said Dave Power of KPMG in a release. And it's not just consumers who are feeling that uncertainty.
2025 was the year of questions that we didn't know that we needed to answer.
In a year-end interview with CTV News Automotive Parts Manufacturers Association President Flavio Volpe saying, right now, the uncertainty is being felt on the factory floor.
The people that work for us tell us that they're anxious. And they're anxious because of what the White House is saying and doing, but also because, we bet heavily on electrification and the Americans are moving away from it. And we have the Chinese waiting on our doorstep.
Prime Minister Mark Carney says Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc will head to Washington in January to kick off talks with his American counterpart, though the formal CUSMA review begins in July. Travis Fortnum, CTV News.
Coming up, we introduce you to a London-based theater group singing and dancing their way through adversity. Red arrows across the board in Toronto and New York to kick off the last trading week of the year. The TSX lost 103 points, while on Wall Street, the Dow was off almost 250 and the Nasdaq dropped 118. The dollar was down slightly from Friday. Gold plunged almost $210 an ounce. Oil shot up $1.34 a barrel. The City of Windsor is looking to hold the line on property taxes heading into 2026. The mayor has tabled his budget with a promised 0% tax rate next year. Robert Lothian reports.
Citing an era of trade tensions and tighter spending, Windsor Mayor Drew Dilkins says there's a need for the city to show financial restraint in the next year.
I think it's fair to say there are many people in this community who are feeling the affordability crunch right now, and the one thing we can do as a city is make sure that we're doing all we can on our front to hold the line on taxes and on costs.
Holding the line in 2026 means a proposed 0% tax rate increase. Achieving that rate includes raising transit fees, enforcing fees at parking meters for an extra 2 hours each night, or more unusual changes like reducing the rate of grass cutting and vegetation maintenance on EC Row.
These are back-end changes that the public may not even notice. And so that's even better, from my perspective at the end of the day, that if we're operating more efficiently as an organization and the public doesn't even know what we've done except they see it shake out in the zero budget line.
At City Hall, job impacts are hidden by labor relations, keeping the the changes behind doors for the times being. The city is also relying on a one-time increase in payments from services like the Windsor Airport and the Windsor-Detroit Borderlink Corporation. Notable spending includes a $6 million increase for Windsor Police and $1.5 million earmarked for a Sandpoint Beach splash pad.
This is important to have these green areas where people can get that relief. And splash pad seems to be one of the ways that the city is doing that.
Investments this year appear more scaled back while pushing a $317 million capital budget, largely focused on roads.
We have to make sure that we're ready for that growth. So Sandwich South, the hospital, the development on the other side of Cabana Road where you see Mint building a $300 million factory. The other items that we have in our pipeline, which we need to have roads in and land ready to be able to support.
Tabling the budget starts the 30-day clock to assess and amend the mayor's proposals. Public delegations are scheduled for January 12th. For dates, time, and locations, head to our website, ctvnewswindsor.ca. Robert Lothian, CTV News.
Happy holidays, everyone. I'm meteorologist Gary Archibald for CTV News. Not such a great weather picture in terms of what's taking place at the surface. Blustery winds, gusty winds at that. Massive system of low pressure bringing blizzard-like conditions right across the heart of southern Ontario with lake enhancement coming off of Lake Huron and Georgian Bay. Anywhere from 10 to an additional 40 centimeters across parts of the Midwestern tier and southern Ontario proper over the next 24 to 48 hours. That'll take us into the new year and potentially drag on through the first weekend of 2026. I'll break down what you need to know just ahead.
Gary joins me now with your full weather forecast. Gary?
It's going to be a cold one tonight. Lauren, I'm anticipating not just frigid temperatures, several degrees below seasonal, but the northwesterlies and eddies coming from the southwest combining to make much of southern Ontario, the Great Lakes proper, a very windy playing field for streams of active weather, lake-enhanced snow. Those squalls putting down anywhere from 10 to an additional 25, maybe 30 centimeters across parts of the Midwestern tier of southern Ontario. Anywhere from Windsor towards London, Kitchener, Waterloo due east. We'll see additional snow because Wednesday, Thursday, we'll get another wave, a short wave area of low pressure moving in on the heels of what we're experiencing now. Blizzard conditions with wind warnings in place, snow squall warnings in place for those additional amounts, heavy snow blanketing area roads and highways, and some icy conditions too. The overnight temperatures technically tomorrow morning before dawn, anywhere from about -5 to -12, -13, feeling like the minus teens. Wind chill, obviously an issue. The next couple of days in London, we won't be as windy, but still quite blustery. Wind gusts even tonight through to about 2, 3 a.m. could be in the 80-plus range. Flurries, additional amounts of snow mixed in for good measure, 15-plus over the next 24 hours possible. Windy on Wednesday. That's New Year's Eve. Thursday, New Year's Day. Happy New Year. We're looking at a low of -10. The high is -6, both figures below seasonal. Flurries for Friday, Saturday, Sunday into that first weekend of 2026. Temperatures do moderate. Will be up to 0 a week from now. That's a degree above seasonal. The ebb and flow, the roller coaster ride of warm then frigid temperatures continues. The Midwest, here's where we're looking at blizzard conditions tonight into tomorrow morning. Still windy through Wednesday. And 20-plus centimeters. Some areas will see in total near 50 over the next 24 to 48 hours. Thursday, New Year's Day, -5. Then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, -3 down to or up to 0 degrees. A warming trend, relatively speaking, is in store. Tuesday, Wednesday in Windsor, similar forecasts in terms of today. Frigid, especially in the morning. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday will slightly warm up. in increments of a degree or two, and still looking at temperatures maybe even being above the freezing mark a week from now. The next 48 hours across much of southern Ontario. Windy, snowy, icy, and quite cold.
Thanks, Gary. A powerful journey through local Black history is unfolding on foot across our region. A Philadelphia-based walking artist is traveling through Windsor, Essex, to honor those who fled slavery.
The goal of the walk is to look at the hardships of slavery and the joy of freedom, tracing the footsteps of freedom seekers who came this way during winter. A lot of freedom seekers struck out for freedom because they were afraid of being sold right after Christmas. This is your home?
This is my family home. When he mentioned about doing this during the winter to symbolize our ancestors traveling, I was interested in joining him. I feel privileged. Our ancestors wouldn't have been able to pack a whole bunch of gear. The other thing that's very humbling, if I go to any church in Ontario, I'm going to find my family there and cousins, which I've found cousins already today.
Following this route to Sandwich, we'll continue from Amherstburg to Harrow, and we'll jump by car to Tilbury, and then continue to walk from Tilbury into North Buxton, Chatham, Kent, and finishing at the Josiah Henson Museum in Dresden, Ontario on January 3rd. One of the reasons why I don't walk mountain ranges and woods is because no one will see me. I want people to see me passing through their communities, because sometimes that's the only way they know that there was connection to history, to African Canadian history and the Underground Railroad and plight of those individuals and the communities where they settled, created churches and schools. I want people to see that and to be able to identify that as part of their everyone's history.
Thousands of young hockey players have collected donations, raising a little over $611,000 for Hospice of Windsor and Essex County. Here's the Windsor Angry Bananas and Essex Orange going head-to-head in the U15 bracket. These players hit the ice at the 29th annual Hockey for Hospice 3-day tournament, which wrapped up today. 230 teams battle it out at 4 arenas across the county. The event has raised more than $6.4 million in 29 years.
On behalf of everyone at Hospice, we are just so grateful for the support. This event is something that is near and dear to our hearts, but it's also near and dear to so many. There's so many individuals who played as a kid who are now reffing or coaching in the tournament, and after 29 years seeing the impact, we're just so grateful and honored to be the charity of choice.
Following fan complaints, FIFA's president defended World Cup ticket prices today, pointing to heavy demand.
So 10 million ticket requests every single day. This shows how powerful the World Cup is. And what is important and what is crucial is that the revenues that are generated from this are going back to the game all over the world.
According to FIFA, fans from the U.S. have made the most ticket requests, followed by Germany and the UK. The opening of a fast food chain clogged up streets in St. John's. Here's CTV's Garrett Berry on the big Taco Bell lineups and who was left with a bitter taste.
A parade of red brake lights have taken over this stretch of a major thoroughfare outside of St. John's. Cars lined up down the street for a third day running, waiting for a Taco Bell meal.
Delicious. Hopefully it tastes as good as they say.
How long did you have to wait?
Half an hour.
Not too bad.
1:30, 1:58 now. Got the food.
Since 1:34.
Since 1:34. Do you think it's going to be worth it?
Definitely. It better be.
It's just something different, something we haven't had in a long time. It was here a couple years ago, came and gone, but nice to have again, see?
No, it's not the first time the restaurant has come to this province, but this reception has been staggering. Over the weekend, some reported waiting hours just for a taste.
My son's birthday's New Year's Day. He wanted some. The lineup seemed pretty good today, so I said, okay, I'd get in the lineup and for him to have a try.
The city of Mount Pearl has been forced to implement some traffic measures to help manage this lineup. They've banned left-hand turns in or out of the Taco Bell restaurant itself. They also have enforcement officers down here in the lineup trying to smooth things along. One job, ensuring people can get in and out of this nearby funeral home. The dining mania hasn't spilled over to other area restaurants, and not everyone is a huge fan of the drive-through craze.
Disposable dining dollars are at a premium more now than they've ever been.
Restaurateur and industry advocate Todd Parent says the local independent restaurant scene is simply in competition with some of these fast food giants.
We're in a world where the public needs to decide what kind of communities they want to live in, and if they want to live in fast food, franchise-dominated, cities and towns, then they get to ultimately the customer gets to decide.
He hopes that these dedicated customers remember businesses like his, especially during the slow winter months. Garrett Barry, CTV News, Mount Pearl.
And finally tonight, a London-based musical theater group continues to entertain and warm hearts in the face of adversity. We first introduced you to them in 2019, and in 6 years, they have more than doubled in size. Here's CTV's Brian Bicknell.
From inside this North London church, the sounds of pure joy. This is Dreams Come True, an inclusive, all ages, all abilities, non-faith-based, unified musical theater group.
And I saw a lot of people were in it that had disabilities, and I have a disability, and I wanted to join it.
Lindsay McEnroy is one of about 60 performers from the London area who make up the group. It was founded in 2018 by Alison O'Connor and her son Cameron.
We were surrounded by music all our lives. I've been heavily involved in many groups, and I wanted that for him, but I couldn't find a place where he was included or accepted.
And what's unique about this group is there are no auditions. If you want to take part, you show up, you sing your heart out, everyone's welcome. The group practices every week, and on this day, they're rehearsing for a production of Frozen Junior.
You can be yourself and be confident.
I like it. It's very nice and good.
It gives me a real sense of community.
Dreams Come True typically runs 3 shows per year. It's financed through fundraising and grants and Siloam United Church, which donates space.
Many of us have been told throughout our lives, you can't do this. We take our labels aside and we focus on what we can do.
You can find out more about the group on its website, dreamscometruemusicstudio.ca. Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
That's our time tonight. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. I'm Lauren Stallone. Have a good night.